Teenage boys aren't coming as much as they should be. Spoon with a shaman, be buck naked, it's not gay. Of course it's gay.
Adam Ray is one of the most popular comedians in the world. One of his charges was kid porn.
It's so easy to look at a kid and not go, yum, 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 yum.
In this episode, we talk about the recent Andrew Tate arrest, his opinion of Donald Trump, and his journey through comedy.
Adam Ray! Adam Ray! Adam Ray!
Even though you might recognize him from videos like that Kill Tony episode with Shane Gillis,
I want to thank you for allowing me to be the first black woman president.
he's shared the stage and screen with some of the biggest names in comedy and entertainment, from Bill Burr to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
I've done so many wild things. I truly can't be faced at this point.
In this interview, Adam talks about things he's never spoken about before on camera.
There's so much power and control that we are so oblivious to. The foods, the water, what happens.
Do you think we're past the point now of an elected politician actually being able to care about humans?
This is the million-dollar question. For a comedian, you're getting pulled into this black hole, and it's the struggle and the climb to get out of it that makes you great. You see after these school shootings in the States where kids will band together and try to really elicit some change. All for that, love that, but
This is my conversation with Adam Ray.
control what you can control, you know?
What are you insinuating? Are you saying that people shouldn't grieve school shootings?
Oh, is this going to be one of those shows where you take things out of context and throw them back in my face?
I saw in the news, Andrew Tate, he's been potentially imprisoned in America for the foreseeable future. One of his charges was kid porn. And it just feels like there's this trend at the moment of successful men all going down the route of fiddling kids. What do you think that's about?
I don't know. It feels, to me, it feels pretty easy to not be a pedophile. You know? Like, it's so easy to look at a kid and not go, yum, 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 yum. But for whatever reason, there's people that, and I don't want to say you're a product of your environment, because I know people that were raised in shit upbringings that have turned out okay. But the kid porn thing is, man, I just don't get it. I don't know where that, with the Michael Jackson stuff, you're like, yeah, he was stripped of a childhood and beaten. So did that give him the idea that jerking a kid off was like going to somehow make up for not playing catch with his dad?
You think he was guilty? Is that what you're insinuating?
I mean, it feels pretty obvious. But yeah, I don't like to make super bold claims like that. But if I were gun against my head, or bird against the mic, which is pretty much the same thing. Yeah, it feels pretty obvious. And I love Michael Jackson, but man, I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of character and a pretty good decipher of genuine recounts of experiences. And watching the doc and watching some other interviews with the parent, like, it just feels like a lot of people got taken advantage of and blindsided. It's so easy to look at somebody that famous and go, there's no way, or like they wouldn't abuse that type of power, or it just feels so far-fetched. But dude, as we see now, especially in America, anything that sounds crazy is not that crazy anymore. I mean, look at our fucking president. I just watched the Schwarzenegger doc, like a movie star. He became governor. That's wild. And, sure, he might have had some ideas that resonate with people, but like at the core of it, people like the idea of the Terminator running a state. And it's so wild to watch people in power positions that like have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the impact of social media
Yeah.
on this show, on my generation, because I'm 21 years old.
Yeah.
And I always say that...
By the way, you look like you're like 28, 29. So I don't know if that's a compliment, but like...
I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. You asked me before we started if I had work done. How old did you think I was? How old do you think I am?
I'd say you look not a day over 46.
I love that.
Yeah.
Great. 44.
44.
Yeah.
That's a good age.
Yeah. Now what gives you the 46? My voice, my demeanor, my scruff, my eyes, what's like...
I think I can like...
As a 21-year-old, how do you like assess the age? Like, is it walking up here and having this, vibe?
Yeah, you're
of,
slightly
like,
immobile.
Yeah.
Also a little bit of gooch sweat detected in the air. So I can always tell
What's
by the
gooch sweat?
husk, like between your balls and your dick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You don't call it a gooch?
Yeah, I've heard of that term. I think there's the taint, but that's near the asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gooch. Yeah, I don't know if we're using gooch a lot. Maybe
No.
but maybe your gen is, yeah.
It's MAGA, Make America Gooch Again.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for learning our acronyms.
Yeah. Well, I was saying before we went off on an
porn.
important tangent.
Kid porn.
Yeah. I always say that social media used to be a reflection of reality, right?
Yeah.
But now reality is a reflection of social media, where the best story wins. Where do you see that going when it comes to Andrew Tate being convicted now, who's a role model for a lot of young guys? I'm not a big fan of him.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of my friends are.
I think a lot of, and his whole thing is what? Like, I'm not as privy to Andrew Tate's resume as maybe I should be, but
he's got a lot of money.
Yeah.
He drives a Bugatti. That's his main thing. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
color's your Bugatti? Have you heard of that? He wears cool outfits.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is what he's known for.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
And what is he kind of spewing on your gen, like, that you guys resonate with? Like, what does he do that everyone is like, dude, fucking Tate's got it figured out, dude. This guy is maybe a guy we should be listening to more. What is he kind of pushing on you guys?
Well, I think there's this big narrative, right, of like the emasculation of men. Our sperm quality
He's that
is
guy. That's
lower
right.
than ever. We're kind of...
Well, that's RFK, who's like, teenagers are ejaculating less than men over 65, which, again, to me, red flag as a human. What are you concerned when your job is to make the food healthier, and you're coming out being like, teenage boys aren't coming as much as they should be. I feel like we got problems. You know what I'm saying? There's other priorities that feel a little bit more imperative to put the attention towards. Now, Tate, in my experience, both on the field and off, in the biz and outside of it, in college and back home in Seattle, people with money that want to show you they got money, dude, like, there's something going on, you know?
Really?
Oh, yeah. So,
like what?
like Tate, for example, like, I don't know what his background is or his backstory, but to get to this place to where you're like known, I just said, what is he known for? And before you even gave me like the whole, thing about toxic masculinity or whatever, you said cool outfits and cool cars. So that's what you, at your age, you picked up, you're like, that's what fucking, dude, cool, dude, hot babes, sweet ride, cool fucking jack.
He does have a lot of hot babes.
Totally. Because he's got money and cool cars and cool, right? And is he a decent looking guy? I don't.
What do you think?
Do you think
Tate's
he's
good
better looking because of the cash and the wardrobe and the
6'4", tall.
He's 6'4", yeah, he's a tall guy. He's bold. He's got a bold
Neither
head.
one of you answered the question. See, you see what you did? You tried to find a way to, you're like, he's tall, but so is tall fuckable? Like, it wasn't a yes or no for you. So that just answered everything for me. So what I think is interesting is that when you have to let everybody know how much shit you got, Trump, great example. Look what I got. Look what I got. Number one on Facebook. During COVID, he was bragging about his Facebook status. Wild. Now, to some people, not wild at all, dude. Awesome. Dude, fuck it. That's a big deal, dude. Facebook? Dude, if MySpace was around, he'd definitely be in my top 40. But to like talk about all this shit you got, it's the whole thing about like, for an athlete complaining to the referee, right? They used to say to us, let your playing do the talking, shut your mouth, get back at him on the court and fucking,
It's like people who brag about having a huge dick when they're at high school.
Totally, dude.
I actually
How many times does that guy actually have a huge cock?
Well, I experienced probably what was an anomaly where I had a foreign exchange student. He was from the Czech Republic. Have you been?
No.
Fucked up place.
Wait, is Prague part of the Czech?
Prague is part
I have
of the
been
Czech
there.
Republic.
Yes,
Yeah, really fucked up place. All they do is party, bang, finger hookers.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to a strip club there when I was 16.
In that order?
Not in that order. It was
Yeah.
the inverse.
Yeah.
But still, I was 16 years old, and I think it was called Goldfingers, which was a great name.
Of course it was,
Or
yeah.
riffing off the James Bond title. So I liked it as a Brit.
Of course.
And there was this reputation a guy had, one of my friend's friends, for being horsecock. And it was the talk of the town.
Wow.
And he'd been bigged up for like months and months when I was in the UK with my foreign exchange student friend. And I went and visited him. And we went to the town square. I don't drink because I'm a little bit boring, but everyone was drinking out in the town square.
And 16 in Prague, I think, is legal drinking age, yeah?
And legal bang age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all your friends were participating, but you were just chose. And they didn't give you a hard time about it?
No.
Great.
They were fine. Yeah,
Love
which was
that.
nice.
Yeah.
My generation doesn't really drink much.
I know.
Yeah.
You're vaping.
Yeah, that's true.
You'll probably die sooner from vape than you will booze.
I think so.
Yeah.
I would rather we drank alcohol as well because then
Me
we'd be
too.
socializing more rather than all
Also,
just being
you'd be
like
more fun.
incels, gooning in our bedrooms.
I have a few friends, and we'll come right back to your story because it sounded awesome. But I have friends that have gotten sober, and starting sober, all good. Like that's your journey. I know people that from the get-go were just like, I don't like to be, actually, I have one friend who's never drank or smoked. And he says because he doesn't want to ever not be in control, not be in control.
That's exactly why I don't drink or smoke.
But his vices have included a slew of inappropriate actions with gals where he wasn't in control. so you're just like, what? And so my point is, and then I have friends now that have become comedian friends who have become sober, and they are the worst.
Really? Why?
They are the worst because they have gotten more opinionated, more racist is the byproduct of their opinionations being more aggressive, but just more everything, more. Everyone needs a vice. Everyone has a vice. Those are two separate thoughts.
What's your vice?
Oh man, pot for sure.
Really?
Oh yeah, and a cocktail.
How much pot do you smoke?
I'd say 2-3 times a week.
That's not that much.
It's not.
No.
But
maybe that's why you look so young.
Thank you. But there's some nights where it's like, and it's usually like sometimes it's a daytime smoke. So usually it's at night to pass out. But my wife was even telling me last night, she goes, I'm so glad you're not a fucking degenerate pothead to where like you get comatose. Like, if anything, I've just figured out the right amount so that I'm still locked in.
Was that just a dead fingernail that fell off?
No, it was a piece of
skin.
Yeah. No, from this. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, we can check the tape. You want to pick it up?
No, I really don't.
This would be a great clip if you pick it up and as a nail. Then I don't know. I'll get you like a Gatorade Zero.
Don't tempt the Gen Zer with a good clip.
You guys,
or a Gatorade.
That's why I said it. You guys are big clip guys. As are we. We started the clip game.
Really?
Oh yeah.
How?
Oh, dude.
Do you know who started the clip game? Andrew Tate.
You love Tate, don't you? This is not. I don't know if it's great to open your show with this guy who's addicted to kid porn. What do you think? And then not even 6 minutes later, be like, dude, you know, here's a little fun fact about the guy.
I just think you can separate the art from the artist, just like you'd agree with Michael Jackson, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But here's the thing. When I listen to a Michael Jackson song, I try to differentiate. Was this pre or post kid fucking? That lets me know how much I can rock out to the song. You know?
Yeah. What do you think the timeline was?
Tough to say, man.
Okay, well, let's go through.
I think it was. I think every time.
Beat It, pre kid fuck or post kid fuck?
I think that's pre.
Billie Jean.
Pre.
Man in the Mirror.
Pre.
Dirty Diana.
Pre. These are all the early hits. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're talking like, Rock With You, yeah, I think that's a little. But again, dude, nobody knows. We don't know what we don't know. You know? Yeah. Andrew Tate said that. You got. What was I saying? Oh,
kid fucking.
No. Before that, I was trying to make a point about the drinking, being sober. They've become the worst versions of themselves because they don't have that little voice, right? The vice, whatever it is for you, if it's a smoke, if it's a drink, it doesn't have to be drug related. You could like to go camping 4 times a week because getting outside gets you out of your office job and into some quiet and to get out of your bubble. But historically and, consistently, I think that having a little boozy voice is not a bad thing to kind of moderate your thought gargle. I feel like the amount of times I have friends who could have benefited from some little boozy voice being like, hey, maybe don't bring down breakfast with your aggressive stance on trans athletes, and maybe finish that mimosa and tell that story about how you thought you met Kevin Spacey at a Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? Like add something to the hang, like lighten the mood.
Yeah,
but my friends that have gotten sober are just. It's just everything's a lot more serious. And I think people who get older struggle from this too, like I was at the gym where my folks live and, it's kind of an older area. And so there's a lot of 70s, 80s people down there and it's no cell phones in the cardio room, right? I very quietly tried to take a call and it couldn't have been more than 30 seconds of like, hey, blah, blah, and I'll call you back. And some dude, by the way, it's just me and him in this big cardio room, comes over. He's probably 30 feet away to chastise me for talking on the phone. And I go, you're right. The sign's up. I'm breaking the rules. Yeah, try to abide by that as much as possible and be accountable. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, you're so bored and also so thirsty for complaint. You're just, you know what I'm saying? Like you have downtime and you have free space to focus on stuff that doesn't maybe matter as much.
This happens to me all the time,
Yeah.
especially with driving in America.
Yeah.
I recently went to turn left at one of those junctions, but before I could go, I was covering the zebra crossing. Do you call it a zebra crossing where people can cross? We call them zebra crossings, crosswalks.
Yeah, yeah.
And it ended up going red and I didn't turn. So I was just covering the entire crosswalk.
Wow.
And this old lady with a cane hobbled over and she had to walk around my car. And then she just started shouting me, telling me I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
I wanted to run that bitch over right there.
Yeah. And
would have been like 50 points at least.
yeah. It is funny. It is funny how often I also daydream about the video game driving, like like when you see like homeless guys will walk across the street in America. They are the most fearless people in this country. Like you'll see a homeless guy walk across a freeway and just be like, I dare you, hit me. Everyone slows down because nobody wants to be responsible for that.
Well, do you think they're fearless or do you think they're just so high they don't know
so
what's
crazy.
going on?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the people that, like, I'm sure you've been to some Andrew Tate parties where a drunk guy jumps off the roof because he's so fucked up, right? Now, is part of him doing that because people are chanting his name? Jake, Jake, Jake. You fucking dude. We all succumb to a little peer pressure from time to time. When's the last time you were peer pressured into doing something?
Ooh, I was actually driving this friend's Tesla. It was a female friend I had. We weren't dating or anything, but I borrowed her Tesla and I picked up another chick from a UCLA bar.
Yeah.
And then I drove her back all the way down out of LA to go and sleep with her and spend the night with her. And she was like, you drive like an old man. Why you sat with two hands? You look like such a nerd. And I was keeping us safe, right?
Sure.
That's someone's daughter.
10 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah, but she pressured me into driving a bit cooler. So I took one hand off the steering wheel, and then I went over a massive bump and the entire car lifted up, all four wheels off the ground and skidded, almost rolled over.
Because you didn't have control.
I didn't have control.
Wow.
And then I had to get two hands on the steering wheel again, get it back in control.
Wow.
And she shut up the rest of the drive home. It was the quietest sex I've ever had.
Yeah. So you just had to listen to each other breathing?
Yeah.
That's a bummer. Also sober sex.
Yeah.
Come on. You guys are into that too, right? 21-year-olds?
Really?
Is that what you guys...
I mean...
If you're not drinking, vape sex? Yeah, great band name, but not a fun thing to engage in.
What's vape sex? Just vaping the whole time?
Well, if that's your drug of choice, pre-intercourse.
I don't vape either. I do think vaping's very gay.
Yeah. Celsius, that's your move. Energy drinks.
Energy drinks, they're my one vice. A lot of caffeine in my system.
So you might have a little heart attack action at like 28.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It feels like my generation, it's like vapes, caffeine, and then GLP-1s. Those are the big things.
Yeah, the peptides.
Have you ever taken peptides?
Took some testosterone.
Really?
It's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not I'll take Advil for a raging headache from time to time, but I try to like stay clear of all this stuff. I'm just like, I don't know. And it's not even like I'm a huge, I'm not wildly educated on like what's good, what's bad. I mean, it's pretty evident if you even just, at this point, to live in this country, and I mean, there's apps where you can basically just scan anything and it'll tell you how awful it is. I do think ignorance is bliss because there's things I like to enjoy sometimes. And I go, I don't even want to know how bad that is for me because it's everything. I also live in Los Angeles where the air is insanely poor. I think about moving back to Washington State quite a bit because of that, where I'm like, I probably would add 15 to 20 years. No joke.
Yeah.
But
well, if we're honing in on quality here of advice for young men, I came across this guy. Do you know Will Blunderfield, who that is?
Sounds like a fake guy, but who is
No,
that?
he's a shaman.
Yeah.
And his whole thing is, if you're comfortable with your sexuality, you can cuddle other men naked and it's not gay. It's just bonding with the bros. His slogan I said yesterday to your friend Annie Lederman, it reflects on me, and that's uncirced, unvaxxed. That's the healthiest way.
Uncircumcised, unvaxxed.
Yes. Yeah. And that's my experience of health too. And he has this whole thing where like, he speaks about the frenulum and tickling your frenulum on your dick. Like the bowstring on the back of your dick before you get it cut.
Gotcha.
He like tickles that.
For what purpose?
Just pleasure.
Gotcha.
But you combine that.
But I thought he was spooning with dudes naked just for friendship.
Yes. But then he also has the third eye, which is here. And you can kind of press on it. Like if you try it now, if you press here in your third eye, and then you breathe in and out really fast whilst paying attention to your taint, you go, it gives you a natural high.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing that. So you're going to parties. So let me paint a picture here, right?
Please.
You get invited to a Gen Z party. You got your other mates around, right? some other fun 20 some year olds, and you guys are hanging out, and somebody brings in some booze. You respectfully decline. You're like, I'm all set on that. I don't drink. And they're like, Elliot, come on, man. Don't you want to get fucking high, man? And you go, I'm all good, man. Actually, I brought my Celsius. Also got a sugar-free Red Bull. Might crush one of those Crustables I saw on the counter. Other than that, I'm just kind of living off life. Cut to 2 hours later, right? Vibe of the party drops, dude. A couple of the girls that were supposed to show up didn't show up, right? The girl that you had quiet sex with is there with another dude. So now you're just in this weird headspace. And you're like, fuck, I need something to get my mood back up to level 1, you know? I'm trying to fucking grab that raccoon leaf Mario style and fly into the sky, but I ain't gonna drink. So here we are, you in a room, right? People are outside on the patio. Some people are out on the porch, and you're by yourself, and you just fucking take one finger and put it up here in the third eye, and the other one goes wherever the fuck you want it to go, and you just start, just huffing and puffing. And when you open your eyes, there's about 6 people staring at you like, Elliot, dude, you gotta go. Because we don't know what the fuck's going on, dude. You said you were cool. Now you're doing this weird David Bumblesfield shaman, I got a third cock, touch the back of my scrotum. I'm spooning with gay guys, but I'm straight. And you start trying to rattle all this information off just to try to figure out if this was the party for you. So my question is, who'd you vote for?
One of the biggest lies sold to our generation that we've just accepted is that phone addiction is simply a self-control problem. I don't think that's true anymore. If you put an ordinary person against teams of behavioral psychologists, machine learning engineers, and trillion-dollar companies optimizing for attention, of course they're going to lose. The answer isn't feeling guilty. The answer is changing the environment. That's why I've been trying Shift. Unlike almost every blocker I've used before, Shift puts the control somewhere I can't instantly override from my phone, which means when my future self inevitably tries to negotiate with himself, he can't. I still have all the useful parts of my phone. I can still work, travel, and communicate. I've just removed the things that quietly consume hours of my life. If attention is the foundation of a meaningful life, protecting it is probably one of the highest return investments you can make. Shift gives you lifetime access with one payment. No subscriptions, no hidden fees. You can get 20% off through my link. So go to shiftyourphone.com or click the link in the show notes to try it for yourself. That's shiftyourphone.com. I was too young to vote last election. Yeah. But I would have voted for Kanye every day of the week.
Kanye.
Yeah.
Let's go. Another guy that I think a lot of people can separate the art from the guy from. It's also funny too, when people go that bananas, it doesn't even feel real to me.
You're kind of like, yeah, fair enough,
Yeah, it's also again, with Tate, that amount of money, that amount of showmanship, if you will, or just look at me. When you're doing too much of that for the wrong reasons,
it's overcompensation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we're living in an era of overcompensation where everyone, they're so hollow inside, they don't have any true meaning. So it's all about the superficial attributes, right?
Yeah.
It's about flexing the cars, the money, rather than actually finding connection.
1000%. Which is why I am so lucky, grateful, and lucky and grateful that I wanted to get into a profession that makes others feel good and makes me feel good. Because at the end of the day, at 44, maybe 46, I'm like, man, it's really life is such a fart in the wind, for lack of a better term, as far as how quick it goes. But leaving the world a better place than when you found it is, to me, Jim Henson, the guy who created the Muppets, that's a quote of his. And I read that very at a young age, and I was like, what a great way to approach just being here, And not that everybody needs to, have been here and added to the world and whatever, but exactly what you're saying, having something to connect to is I think a lost art, and not that you need to have that thing connect to a bunch of people like comedy does, but having a purpose that that you're, the same way that probably a doctor or somebody, in a therapist or whatever, knowing that if more jobs were centered around helping people than helping yourself. Right? When I first got into comedy, I was very much I'm trying to get me going. which I think it's fair and healthy. Like your concerns are more with like, I want to be selling out this. I want to be in movies. I want to do this because I want this for me. I want to like, so that people are looking at me like, the same reason why everyone posts on Facebook still. It's like you'll post a picture of this, soberless, fuckless, coming through my forehead party, and you'll post pictures from it, and because you want likes, and which is such a crazy thing that we've gotten to where everyone's just like, did you like that?
And then
like, it's the equivalent of me being like, seeing you afterwards, being like, did you see my pictures? Did you like it? Elliot, did you like my stuff? And you're like, yeah, it was cool, man. No, but you didn't like it. You didn't. Do you like it? Do you like that? Like, that's all we're doing. That's all I'm doing, I guess, with comedy. But I'm also now at this point to where
you've played the policeman in the Barbie film.
Yes.
You're past all of that bullshit.
Yeah. The reach is now, I'm now looking at it because now I'm at a point to where, and comedy is great because there's no endpoint. There's no like, you did it. Chappelle is still out at clubs because there's no endpoint, because he still loves it, because he's still an ever-changing. The only way to truly, I think, stop connecting with people is if you lose touch as an artist and you're a comedian, whatever, and your audience dies off, right? So as Chappelle gets older, he's done a good job of staying relevant, staying connected to every, to generations higher and lower.
Yeah.
But
and I think with that connection as well, it's really making a choice in your life of how you want to live, right? Like
Totally.
To take the fart in the wind analogy one step further, I would argue that life is more like a queef in a storm, where a queef is an amoral thing.
I like that.
It depends on how you approach it. You can either laugh or you can cry, but it's up to you. You have full agency what you do as a result of that queef.
Right.
You can say, hey, don't talk back to Papa. Or you can be grossed out by it and stop having sex.
Don't talk back to me. It's
But
very funny.
It's ultimately what you do with it. And it's the same with life. Life is but a queef in the storm.
In a storm, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, the storm, that's a more aggressive analogy for sure. Because if you're saying life is a big storm, that's like, man, is there so there's no break in the clouds, you know what I'm saying? The wind, suggests that like, we can all handle a little wind, right? Whether you're on the top of a mountain or inside of a car and it's blowing at you, like you can handle that. You
Yeah,
can get
whether
around
it's a bubbler from a fat Mexican lady you pulled from the comedy store.
For sure. Well, I don't see color, but like, yeah. But there's something about comedy now that I think, you have the opportunity with a greater reach to, and this is what I was saying earlier about like not doing it for me now, still doing it for me to challenge myself creatively so that I like maintain a level of joy in the art form, which that's also a lost art. When I started kind of messing around with character stuff, Dr. Phil, what have you, it was all because I was losing joy for what I was doing, because I was falling into a routine of like audition, podcast, shows. And yeah, there's, varying elements with all those avenues, but just the monotony was like, dude, what am I doing? I'm also at the, I wasn't controlling what I can control, but now with like, again, having people message me daily or at live shows with stories of like how comedy has helped them with they've on their fifth miscarriage, or their mom was on, life support, and they would watch these shows and it brings you joy. Just getting back to you saying about like having something to add, I think is what I would tell your generation. If there was like one overarching thing, it would be control what you can control, because there's so many things, you see after these school shootings in the States where kids will get, will band together and try to really elicit some change. All for that. Love that, because you got to do that. But man, control what you can control,
What are you insinuating? Are you saying that people shouldn't grieve school shootings?
Oh, is this going to be one of those shows where you take things out of context and then throw them back in my face?
Nah.
Yeah. Do you know this kid Matan?
Yeah.
Matan? Yeah. I feel like we're starting to go down that path.
Really?
Yeah. Just
what was your experience like with Matan?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Super fun. Yeah. Also, I've done so many wild things. I truly can't be phased at this point. I'm sure I can, but a comedy podcast, knowing that it's a goofy you watch enough of it, you're like, cool. You're going to try to throw me off a little bit with weird characters that come in that don't say anything. Okay. Like also, my move is to always kill it with kindness. I've seen people go on that show, and are comedians that also in their own shows, if something throws them off, they take it personal and they fucking punch down. And I did that early on. I lost my cool and I learned from it. But it's like, I subscribe to hit them and hug them, where it's like, everyone's got to be fucked with, truly. but you don't got to make anybody feel bad about themselves. And I knew at the end of the day, Matan, also young kid. So it's like, go in knowing, oh, dude, this kid's just getting going. So he's just fucking shooting from the hip. Like you, right? You fucking your show. I'm assuming this is your first show, right?
No, I'm 100 episodes in.
No. First, see, defensive right out of the gate. I meant first show, like your first stab at a show.
Yeah.
I know you've been doing this for a while. Yeah, it's great. The show's great. But your first like show, this is the first Elliot project, right?
Yeah,
that you really sunk your teeth into.
Yeah. You're my third comedian that I've ever interviewed.
I love that, my man. Appreciate you. But you know what I'm saying? This is your first like venture, which is awesome and exciting because like, dude, in not even 10 years from now, you might look back on this and you'll be grateful you did it, but like you're going to be doing something even cooler. I love that you're even doing this now, like, and asking and wanting to interview people from all walks of life and asking thoughtful questions, having some silliness in there, you know. But it's cool. You're controlling what you can control, which is you're like, I don't know what I want to do yet. I'm 21. I know I want to ask some questions about naked guys spooning. I want to open with kid porn. I want to like rent a studio in a fucking shady part of town. But like, you shot your shot with me. And I was like, yeah, fucking why not? I'm real picky with like what I do. Cause you know, there was a time when I was just saying yes to everything, which I also think is not a bad idea when you're starting out, you know, like you doing that, you're saying yes to yourself. You're being like, oh, I'm going to fucking, I don't know, for whatever reason you reached out to me, but you took that shot and like, dude, you got to do that. Like, you don't ask, you don't get. I said that to Neil Brennan once. I was like, because I asked him to look at a tape of mine for SNL because he's friends with a bunch of the writers there and he does stuff with them. And we were friendly enough to where he was going to look at the tape, but he goes, you would be surprised how many people ask me to watch their audition tapes. And I go, oh, really? He goes, yeah. And they all tell me, you don't ask, you don't get. And I go, and Neil's words were, you know what? Sometimes you don't ask. Being like, read the room also. But I think you're doing a good job of that.
Thank you.
Yeah. But so for your young listeners, I mean, fuck, dude, you got to just throw darts, which is what you're doing. And again, in 5-10 years from now, you could have your own TV show. This pod could have grown even more. Or maybe you're not even doing it. And maybe you're doing like a travel show. Like, who knows? But you even trying to do something in this space, you're getting the reps, which is all life is, dude. It's reps. Do you know what I'm saying? In anything. Like comedy, fucking get on stage, you know. I had 3 spots last night, you know. I leave tomorrow, doing 5 shows this weekend. Yeah, all great, big rooms, make some money, but like I'm getting more reps, you know. Me doing this, another rep, you know.
Yeah. In the space of 5 years, I've had the chance to meet Joe Rogan in his podcast studio. I've gone from being a fanboy of Chris Williamson to hanging out with him for dinner and in his new podcast studio. I built up the Trigonometry podcast from 300,000 subscribers to 1 million, going on multiple tours to America with them. It's pretty surreal looking back at all the knowledge I've been fortunate enough to have imparted on myself, and it feels wrong to just gatekeep that for myself. But luckily for you, whether you're an aspiring podcaster who's done 0 episodes or someone who's done hundreds and can't quite seem to crack the code to make it work, I've got something just for you. I've gone into a partnership with my best mate and fellow podcaster Chris Griffin to create Pod Pro, the best podcast school in the world. Since meeting last year in Austin through a mutual friend, we've slept in cars together, we've built productions in LA warehouses, and we've climbed mountains and placed a full cinema production on top of it. The mentorship includes live weekly calls with both Chris and myself, access to our team for direct client success meetings, as well as different modules we've put together with the actual frameworks we use for everything in the podcast space. This is designed to take you from A to Z and for you to have a comprehensive understanding of it all. I genuinely can't imagine a better podcast offer in the world from any other podcasters in the space. And that might sound egotistical, but I don't think there's someone who's actively walking the walk while still being aware of every part of the process, being in the trenches at a level as high as Chris and I. So to apply, go to thepodpro.com/Elliot or click the link in the description, put in your details, and my team will be in touch. That's thepodpro.com/Elliot.
100 eps is awesome.
Thank you.
Do you have a goal with how many you want to do?
I don't have a goal in terms of quantity. Yeah. I just want to be the biggest podcast in my generation, ultimately. And I'd love to do travel stuff. Like, I'm a big fan of travel. I've been
you're traveling for the show. I mean,
I'm here, which is weird.
Consistency is king, too. That's another thing I would tell your audience, or the young people. Consistency. Because I know it's not just your guys' generation, but starting and stopping. Dude, I mean, that, again, just from knowing some of my friends, kids that are about your age, I don't know if it's everything's at your disposal, the ADHD, the HPV, the HBO. Everyone is like, can't lock in on something. So you even locking in on this for a bit is huge, because it would be so easy for you to do like 20 episodes and be like, we got 20,000 downloads. No ads yet, though. So that's a wrap. It's like, dude.
Well, there's this stat that I always cite when I speak to people about podcasting, which is that I think 10% of people make it past 4 episodes.
Oh, that sounds
And then
right.
of them, 10% make it to 20.
Wow.
So if you make it to 21 episodes, you're in the top 1% of podcasters just by showing up, which is pretty cool. But I think the big thing is like nowadays, your whole life, it's a show for people.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a show,
Yes.
you're making the show on social media,
Yes.
right? And whether it's like your relationships that you get into, they're kind of marketed partnerships rather than true relationships that are off camera. It's well, this girl doesn't really show up that well on my Instagram stories, so I don't know how I feel about dating her. And that's not been my experience. I'm fortunate enough to say, just because I'm not a cunt. But a lot of people are like that. It's more like a partnership, and it's weird. Like there are all of these stories of people being scared to dance in nightclubs now because everyone's got Snapchat, they've got their phones, and they don't want to be filmed looking goofy.
Yeah.
It must be the same in comedy club. Filmed roofie.
Is that what you said?
No.
Oh, filmed.
I don't even know what I said.
Yeah. I think it said filmed a roofie. I thought you were trying to slip that in there.
No.
Being roofied at a nightclub is probably will never not be a concern.
Yeah.
There's never the same way that there'll always be McDonald's and there'll always be porn, there always will be no shortage of guys that are just like, fuck it, which is wild.
I feel like guys are actually too emasculated to even roofie nowadays, though.
I mean, see, I travel the country and I've like met people after shows where you're like, oof, I'm glad you came to the show, but I feel like someone should be watching your every move. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, they've got those cup covers now where they bring out your cups in clubs with covers on them.
Okay, good. How do you feel about, I was just talking to a comedian friend of mine. He's got like 3 podcasts. He posts stand-up clips nonstop. And I was like, I post a lot too. It is part of the game. Again, consistency to get people to like follow your shit, knowing that you're coming back with, and then it's like, they're following you for what reason? What are you feeding them? I try to mix it up between, all the different things. But he's only doing stand-up and podcast stuff. And he's got a following for it, but I asked him, I go, there's only so much shit you can say. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're posting what? Just clips from your show, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But you got different guests and you're trying, I think sometimes hopefully you're trying to balance out where the clip maybe is guest heavy and then sometimes it's you heavy, right? Yeah. So that you can kind of, because if it was just you talking to camera or you carrying the weight of the convo in the clip, people would be like, all right, dude, enough Elliot. Everything in moderation. But I asked him, I was like, dude, you're putting so much of you out there because you need to, per him. But I'm like, I do see clips like crossing, or you'll talk about something on a podcast about, something with your kid or something about being on the road. And then literally 2 days later, it's another clip about something in the same vein. And I'm like,
it's too much exposure. There's this guy I know. I won't say too much information about him because he's helped me out a lot and I respect a lot about him. But I've lost a lot of respect recently because he just nonstop posts on Instagram, and he's meant to be this trusted mentor that's like 60 years old maybe. And he's very anti-woke. He's like right-wing, reactionary style content. And he's a great guy, but he spam posts like 4 clips a day because he's just walking around taking different mentorship calls. So he spams. And then he put up a story saying, you can't speak the truth anymore. Everyone's unfollowing me. And I'm like, no, bro. It's because you're posting like 5 times a day of just you talking on an Android.
Ooh.
Yeah. What
is he talking about? Or if you say, you'll give it away who he is.
No, I mean, just stuff about the family unit and the modern state of man.
So you're saying he's oversaturating his
audience. I think he's devaluing himself. And I've tried to find a balance with that where like I include some clips of my guest. Yeah. It'll be you talking, saying how much you love roofing girls. And then it'll be me talking as well at points. But mostly it was a guest heavy show.
Right.
And it was only recently I went on TV in the UK. Do you know who Jeremy Vine is?
No.
He's like a big TV host over there.
Right.
And I went on his show. It was a panel of me and then him, the host, and then like 2 other veteran broadcasters, like 50 years old and one was like 40. And we had a bit of a back and forth, like debating about Gen Z. And Jeremy Vine says, isn't it just that you're all depressed because you don't get off your phones? And I was like, well, who is it that designed the algorithms more addictive than casinos? And kind of pushed back on them a little bit.
Yeah.
And it went like crazy on the internet.
Wow.
We got like 24 million views on my page,
Wow.
which I'm not one to care about views too much. I care about the quality of the conversation, but like, it's fucking helpful to push your message out.
Totally.
There. And then that actually got my face out there and my points rather than the guests. So now I'm kind of like managing it a lot better. But I wanted to ask you about that. So that whole debate, there was this conversation about whether Gen Z are victims or not, whether it's our fault that a lot of us are just kind of in bed doom scrolling all day. Like, what do you see as the lay of the land for Gen Z? Do you think we're just a bunch of pussy snowflakes, or
No.
is there a responsibility of kind of older generations too?
I think lack of accountability is across the board. You know, I have friends again that have like engaged in some wild activities and gotten away with it more or less, and still had to kind of face a little bit of the, you know, the light, and still have not taken any accountability. And that to me is, man, just insane. So that goes for people of my age, people older. Even now, my mom at 77, who's killing it, you know, and still clicking and ticking, thank God, and so sweet. And, you know, she did the single mom thing with me and is truly a hero of mine, and so sweet and so just life of the party and just trying to make the most of every day. You know, a conversation she had with my nieces recently, per my sister, that like was definitely like out of character and not awesome, and kind of wanting to do the right thing and help them, but it was dealing with like body issue stuff. And I think just old school, a little more blunt, direct, but not realizing, I think, that she was that she came across that way.
Yeah.
So, and I had a little bit of a talk with her about it, and it was like, she was receptive, but also like most people are, like, it's tough when you hold a light up or a mirror in front of somebody, dude, to be like, oh, wow, yeah, I did do that. Accountability is huge. Just like checking the ego is also huge. Those two things, again, for kids your age, man, it's like, because like, you know, you're coming in to doing these shows and you're like, yeah, fucking 24 million views, like 100 episodes, you're jamming, you're doing the next year, you're probably going to get some cool ass guests, whether it was from you reaching out or you being in a place where you met them and had a nice conversation, and you're going to start like feeling yourself, as you should, right? And then it's going to be that balance of like maintaining being like a guy that could still just hit up a comedian and meet him in some fucking crack house, you know, and shoot the shit, you know, and still maintaining that guy and not letting yourself like smell your own farts, you know, or queefs in the storm, whatever. But do you consider yourself now, because like we've been making some jokes, and I'm of the thought of like, yeah, I can joke around with anybody. I got buddies back home that are super funny that never got into this. You know, you obviously have a pretty good sensibility and like the ability to make jokes, but you're not like a comedian per se, right? You would call yourself a what?
I'm a
podcaster. Yeah. How does your gen view? Because even there's comedians, right, that have huge podcasts, and then they go do their stand-up. And what I've heard from some of my buddies that like, you know, their stand-up, some of them are active in getting reps more than others, but some just go, oh man, my audience wants to come out and see the podcast version of me. How do you, and I think it's a lot of your age that is making this demo up, where it's like, I love seeing you talk all the shit, and then I go see you live, and it's like, I don't know if it's because you're not seeing them behind the mic sitting at a table and you're seeing them like walk around, but it's like
we give a worse reaction,
or maybe just they separate almost. It's like there's the podcast comedy and there's the stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
I guess I would just ask you, and you don't have to speak for your whole, you know, generation, but like if you like a comedian podcaster and you go see them do stand-up, are you like, okay, cool, these dots are connecting for me? Or
I think I've had to almost train that muscle, because I've been a huge fan of comedy for pretty much all my life.
It's awesome.
Early days, it was more not sketch comedy, like documentary comedy, kind of mockumentary.
What age
Ali
did you start
G.
watching? Oh my God,
Yeah. My dad exposed me to Ali G when I was like 6 or 7 years old.
Dude, I love you. Is your dad still around?
Yeah, he is.
That's awesome.
But then it was kind of transitioning from that to watching these YouTube podcasts, and then you do see a stand-up set and you're like, this is a little bit different. This is less organic. And I think that's the big thing. Like, everyone chats about authenticity all the time, which is such a fucking bullshit word that people throw around. But I get what they're kind of picking at there, where they want to see an organic conversation where
Yes.
you are sat in like a bar set up and you're kind of just chirping, right?
Right.
But then stand-up, it is a performance. It's an art form.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of friends that I've taken to stand-up gigs of people that they like watching online. And they're like, yeah, it was okay. And I think it's an attention span thing as well. Like comedy podcasts, you can listen to them whilst you're driving, whilst you're at home cleaning.
Yeah.
But stand-up, you're there. And your phone's locked up and you're paying your attention to the comedian. And a lot of kids my age don't like that, I think. And I had to like almost work through that. I was like, okay, I know that there's something here because everyone speaks about stand-up being magical. I need to sit tight. I need to fucking eat the broccoli for a few years before I get used to it. And like now I'm used to it and love it.
So your audience is conditioned for sure to like one way of absorbing it. I love that you got into it so early. That's also a huge benefit of social media. To go back to your question about the if it's your guys' fault for all the doom scrolling and ADHD and all that. Yes, but also again, like, you know, the people above you gave this to you. It's tough, man, because
I guess it's like if you get an STD, if you get chlamydia, it's like whose fault is it? Well, you did bang that girl raw.
Yep.
But she did bang that guy that gave it to her. Right. You know? It's like it's
you
both
chose
sides.
to wait, so who gave the chlamydia? The guy or the girl?
So the girl gave you the chlamydia.
Right. So you chose to bang that girl, but you also probably knew based on her lazy eye, you know, the
drool
whole cut
coming
out
from her
of
mouth.
the drool, the whole cut out of her jean shorts over the crotch that said gooch here, you know? Yeah, so like again, it's accountability, right? But like my niece is like at 17, I think, about to be 17. Like, yeah, man, it sucks how much they're addicted to the phone. And it is on them, but it's also on my sis and brother-in-law. Big time. So like when you were like, is it just their fault? No. It's like two-way street, like two-way conversation. Like, you know, if I walked out of this and was like, man, I fucking like Elliot just was coming in hard and like saying all this bullshit, whatever. I'd immediately, which that version of me is done because now I had a shift about probably 7-8 years ago on stage when I lost my cool on stage and then was like, oh, dude, I got to stop doing that and do that. Because I was in control. It was basically I lost in a crowd work thing. I gave these people a bunch of opportunities. The club should have probably kicked them out, but I always say, let me handle it because that just shifts the energy. I don't like that. And again, I like to be in control. And I always like to think I can flip the situation into something positive. And I lost my cool and I was sick about it for like 2 days because I go, that's not me. And also I had the choice to do that.
Well, what did you say?
They were older people. It was right after, I think right after Trump had gotten elected the first time. And it was just real sensitive and like, you know, I just was like, I've never been fully on all politicians to me are so wild. I mean, it's like wild how corrupt they are. But there are people that give a fuck about the greater good than others. And I think that is what is wild to see some people not be able to observe and report on, where you can see like people that are like, it's a fact right now how much Trump and his family have made in office. That statement alone is crazy.
Didn't he go from like $1 billion in wealth to $4 billion or $7 billion?
Not too far from that, dude. To have the ins, to like invest in companies and then sell and then make it, your family's making money. No one's done that. Again, to each his own, everyone like, you know, but there are people that still corrupt politicians, still, you know, it's a part of being in that world.
Did you buy Trump coin?
Oh my God, can you imagine? What if I bought the Trump shoes? Perfect for running from an indictment. Hey, but Biden had the medical flip-flops. Come on. Yeah, under my administration, we had the first black Little Mermaid. Come on. We'll just shit my pants. Elliot. We got the gooch. Under my administration, you could spoon with a shaman, be buck naked. It's not gay. Of course it's gay. Everybody says it. No, Kamala Harris says it's not gay to be with another man. Okay. I worked at a McDonald's, Elliot, for 57 years. She never worked at McDonald's. I went to every McDonald's. They never heard of Kamala. We talked to everyone. We talked to Grimace. Grimace never talks. He talked to me. I think that people that want the best for people should be teachers in this country. Most of them don't want to fuck the kids, you know? It's so funny. A buddy of mine, my wife's 5 months pregnant, very pumped with my first kid, and never thought I would do this. To be honest with you, never thought. You don't have a girlfriend, right, or wife?
I have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome, yeah? You guys, yeah, things are good?
Yeah, things are great.
You're also 21,
Yeah.
so I'll check in with you in about 3 years. But I love that for you. I had love at 21, and then it didn't for a bit, and then did. Whatever. Having somebody, again, that is, and that's another thing I think your generation is just like missing the mark on, is with the over consumption and over accessibility of clips, whether it's pornography or not, the quick hit, the quick adrenaline boost, and this has been talked about, I'm sure, on a billion platforms, but like this is also why I really want to commend you on this show and what you're doing, because like hopefully it is forcing, I hope your audience continues to grow at in your age range, because I don't think I've had this much eye contact and direct. Your generation, you get maybe, here, talk to me, ready? I'll give you what most of your gen is. So
yeah, well,
we're at like lunch or dinner, right?
Yeah, and I'll finish telling you the story about the horse cock that was in Prague, and we were in the town square.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and I actually got dragged down underneath the town square. There was a little entry to the parking lot.
Yeah.
And all the homeless dudes would piss and shit there. Oh. And I got dragged down.
Dude, that is fucking.
This is
the piss.
Are you listening to me?
Well, dude, the piss and shit, dude. That is so.
Yeah.
And so then what do they?
So you're listening.
So what do they then?
So then I got brought down by my friend.
Dude.
And horsecock.
And your friend.
Are you okay?
And so the horsecock. So your friend is like. Sorry, I had to just. Sorry. Actually, just sorry.
So he dragged me down. We walked down the stairs and he said, "I want you to meet horsecock." Dude, you're literally reading a fucking email.
No, I'm taking a selfie and reading an email.
You've got your email open right now.
I'm liking this girl's picture. Sorry. Okay, so you're a gay guy. What was going on? Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to commend you on hopefully getting your people to go like, this is cool. Good on you, man.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, dude, the dating part of you got like, so you having like a girl is like awesome, because I think more and more people are at your age like flying solo and flying under the radar, and because they're isolating themselves, and it's like, dude, like pre-cell phone, I love having a phone. I love having the internet. It's like, again, everything in moderation. I definitely want to get off my phone more. My entire business runs through it, unfortunately. And like, whether it's like acting stuff and stand-up and voiceover and my wife and like friends and family, like it's just, I'm connected with everything through that.
Yeah.
For better, for worse. But man, like when there's times when my wife is like, let's like, can you like not be on your phone while we're out like this whole time? And I go, yeah. Because I can tell she asked so sweet, and she's just like, I know you got to do your shit, but if you can, and when I do it, dude, it's unreal. And I'm like, why am I not doing this more?
I had a night a couple months ago when I was last in LA, and my girlfriend wasn't my girlfriend yet, but we were like in the flirting stage.
Awesome.
Yeah. Eye contact for more than 2 seconds.
Awesome.
Yeah. I had a hard on the whole time.
Good.
And which is a
you
sign
didn't
of
have to
vitality.
do this anymore.
I didn't
get it live in the flesh.
Yeah. It's actually rare for me to be able to have a hard on at a young age now as well, with everyone going on SSRIs and having sexual issues. Yeah.
You going to start taking the pills or no?
The pill?
Yeah. Like,
like contraceptive pill?
No. Like the,
my girlfriend and I are old school. Only she can get pregnant.
I love that.
Yeah. But we had a day where my phone was like, actually, I had a bad message about something like business related.
Yeah.
And I got really pissed off. So I just turned it off for 2 days straight. And we went to the comedy store. We watched a bunch of comedians. I didn't even have my phone. Hers was like locked up.
Oh, shit.
And we got a tour afterwards. There's this guy, I need to shout him out because he's this Mexican comedian. He speaks all about his fat mother having bubblers and queefs and like great stuff. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
And he gave us a tour of the comedy store.
Awesome, dude. That's so fucking funny.
Are you listening?
Yeah.
Are you taking another selfie?
Get a quick picture of the bar lights.
What was wrong with the picture before?
No. Dude, so yeah, Andrew Tate. You know what I love about, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, it's what we call a callback.
Yeah, that was a good callback. It was about a 1 minute callback.
For sure. Where did you guys meet, you and your girl?
On Instagram, she slid into my DMs.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
From the show.
Yeah, from the show.
Yeah, because you don't post clips outside of the show. You don't post like, I don't know, I don't know what. It's all program related. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So the audience gets to know you through this.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever asked you as many questions as I'm asking you?
No.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I actually quite like it.
Yeah.
I like that you're paying attention to me now rather than being on your phone.
Yeah, well, that was for the bit. I've been paying attention the whole time.
But yeah, I threw my phone,
put the phone down for 2 days.
silent. Yeah, and we just went
you have
around
anxiety?
LA a little bit. I felt myself physically reaching for it in my pocket when it was about 40 miles away, you know? And we went on some Lime scooters.
You had the fucking best day ever, didn't you?
Yeah, it was great. And I remember it so clearly as well because I didn't have this compulsive habit that I had access to of constantly checking. Because I think that's the killer. It's not that you doom scroll for an hour or two or binge watch gay jungle porn for 3 hours. That's actually fine if you can compartmentalize that.
Right.
You do you.
But
it's when it's impulsive and intermittent throughout the day. I think that's the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the everything in moderation thing I love, but it is easier said than done because it's like, how do you, especially like for a comedian, the addictions of maybe drinking late night or staying up late or, for some people, flying around with gals on the road, guys, whatever it is, it's like the lifestyle is conducive for all that because the travel, the by yourself, like
everything's pushing you down the direction of vice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conan O'Brien, used to say this about a comedian who was my favorite. His name was Greg Giraldo. He was known for doing the Comedy Central roast, but he was a brilliant comedian. Harvard grad, just smart, too smart for his own good almost. And he, drugs just couldn't shake like that part of his life. But Conan would say about him, and what Greg really was great about was like, comedy is always kind of, for a comedian, you're getting pulled into this black hole and it's the struggle and the climb to get out of it that makes you great. Like that thing, that makes you just, because everyone can kind of like rally around that idea of like being a human being. Like we all have, good days and bad. And who knows statistically how many days you wake up and go to bed and you can say like, that was a great day or not a great day. I would love to know. Like who knows? But being able to make light of those dark times is like what is so amazing about comedy. And even if you're not in comedy, like I feel like you have a pretty healthy approach to, everything we've been talking about, but it's like, that should be the goal as a person is like, how do I get to a place to where I'm like truly not sweating the small stuff? Now that's easy to say. The people that usually say that are the people that have their things to sweat are like, oh, my fucking $7,500 electric boots didn't come in on time. Oh, my fucking that $5,000 bag is like, they don't make it in black anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shit, like the private jet didn't have the right breakfast. There's people that have those things. And guess what? Those are still your concerns and problems. Hopefully people at that stage in life are savvy enough to recognize that like, that is a wild thing to be upset about. That the real problems for most people, if you are a still connected to the world person, the real problems are like, the emotional problems should be what we can all like rally around. And that's why when you see things happen in this country that are like, at the end of the day, like rooted in that, it's like, that's where you lose the humanity part of it, man. Where you look at people like, when I was saying like, looking at getting into it with this older couple about Trump, I lost my cool because I stopped trying to make it funny. And then I just straight up was just like, there's no way you can think, but it was just me being like, there's no way you could think this guy gives a fuck about you or this or anything, which is how I felt and how I still feel. And to me, it's just evident when you look at people like just meeting you now for the first time, seen from clips, can tell you're a good guy, can tell that you give a fuck about the right things, but also I don't know you, who knows, but I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of character. And even from things like that, it's like, there's enough examples that certain people give you, whether it's on a talk show couch or a press conference or whatever. And the way people like talk, again, like certain politicians, again, that you can say, I don't like that they do this, I don't do that. And you're like, yeah, but you can tell they are educated, right? You can tell that they talk about people in a way where they care about people. And that, call me old fashioned or simplistic, but that like is big for me. Do you give a fuck about people? You don't have to be a people person, but if you if you see someone fall down at an airport, even if you don't get up to rush and help, are you like, oh, fuck? Or do you just go back to your shit and go, sucks to be you?
Yeah.
Which is kind of what Trump is doing. And not to make this all about that. And you know, and guess what? Again, sure, there's been presidents in the past, of course, that have done that to groups. It's impossible to be 100% the whole time. But to have a genuine interest in fucking people, dude, and wanting people to be able to have healthcare and and food and to live at least live like a decent life, dude. Like treat people. It goes back. My mom always taught me a few things. You know, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And your dad left because of you. Yeah. Okay. Your folks together?
No. They split up when I was like 3.
Dude, 9.
Yeah.
So you don't remember at 3?
No, I feel like I have a fake memory of my mum walking out, grabbing me by the hand. And
Jesus Christ. Are you serious?
Yeah, genuinely. And she was carrying a mattress for some reason, as if she was planning to sleep on the streets rough with me, which obviously she wouldn't have done. But I think we were going to a friend's house
with the
who
mattress.
Didn't have a spare bed. Yeah.
Wow. Dude.
But I don't know if it's made up or not. I need to ask. I haven't asked.
You got to report back to me on that.
Yeah.
To have that memory at 3 is wild.
Yeah, which suggests it's probably made up. But I reckon it reflected something similar that really happened. But I actually want to chase up on this point before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Of the presidency caring about humans.
Yeah.
For some reason, I have this written down in preparation for this conversation that the 2024 US election, it cost about $16 billion. Oof. And the entire UK general election that same year had a total spending cap of about £46 million. So you guys spent about 85 times more.
Oh my God.
Which is insane. And there's this whole conversation of money in politics that we don't have time to get into, although I think you are the right guy to solve that.
Thank you.
I just wonder, money is a different part of life than reality. It is a game and it's an agreed upon, made up thing, right? There are different incentives in society now that skew away from human flourishing and towards profit. I'm not saying that we should all be communists, right? But it feels like something's going wrong, whether it's the profiting off of insecurities online, where people are sold beauty products when they're 13 and they're insecure and they're a girl and they want to have a prettier face. It's pretty messed up. I just wonder, do you think we're past the point now of an elected politician actually being able to care about humans when money's so involved?
Man, this is the $1 million question. I would, again, I'm a glass half full guy. I would like to always, I get benefit of the D a lot, benefit of the doubt. Shorten it up for you guys. I know sometimes you like to shorten. You abbreviate a lot, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man needs to do that enough.
Porg. Gilf.
Well, Gilf, that was here long before you got
here. But you know Porg?
No.
Fat ass white girl.
Let's go.
Yeah, but fat with a PH.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
What is I'll get right back to that question because it's fucking, dude, great question. What is the one thing about your generation that you go, man, this is us? Like whether it's a phrase or a way of attacking the day. What do you guys, if you had to tell me, 44-year-old, maybe 46-year-old male, white male, what would you like? What if I'm saying like, dude, I'm about to go do a show. How about this for all 21-year-olds? What am I? Not what should I tap into, but like, give me who is this group I'm performing for? What are they all about?
What are they all about? There's been a big trend of looks maxing recently. Have you covered this?
Yeah.
Clavicular, bone smashing. I'd say that's probably the biggest reflection of my generation.
So being image driven is like
image, superficial things.
Fuck.
Yeah.
See, the Kardashians started all that for our generation. They made women care about things they didn't care about before. For better or for worse. It's all for better or for worse, right? Because like some people can block the noise out and some people go, fuck, I didn't think I needed a bigger ass, but they have everything and they wanted a bigger ass.
And they still weren't happy.
Who wasn't?
My pussy pink, but my booty hole brown.
Who said that?
Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Yeah.
Gandhi said that?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's go. Wouldn't it be great if he really did say that?
It would be.
There's got to be a book of lost Gandhi quotes.
Well, you know, he had a big thing, if we go full circle here, because we've run out of time.
Yeah.
He had a big thing for touching little boys too.
He sucked that kid's tongue. No, that was the Dalai
That
Lama.
was the Dalai Lama, yeah.
That was wild.
Suck my tongue.
Suck my tongue. Dude, didn't he say it or did he?
He requested it, but I don't think it was fulfilled.
Can you imagine being that little boy and he's like, oh, dude.
Talk about peer pressure.
How about like a noogie or a fucking bear hug? Dalai Lama's like, no. Give me that sweet, sweet tongue, baby. What a weird thing to be into. There's so many things I'm glad I'm not into them. There's a show on A&E called Strange Addiction for a little bit. It highlighted people that, develop some wild passions, and I'm like, dude, I might have missed my stepdad's birthday last year. I might have been late on some cable payments, but at least I'm not Daphne in Minneapolis, Minnesota, who's like, I can't start every day unless I eat a bar of soap and suck on some toes. And you're like, well, this is where the friendship ends, Daph, because I'm an Eggs Benedict guy. I do want to say, lastly, the money thing. Yeah, dude, I think sadly, things have gotten so out of control, and I think this past administration, and you could throw it even in the Biden one too. There's so much noise and so much more corruption now for sure that it's going to take like I don't know how you get also the divisiveness. I said a little stony the other night to my buddy, I go, the divided states of America. And we both laughed and then cried because we're like, that's true. I was very high. I watched a movie on mute for about 45 minutes and thought I was going deaf. But I think we're past it. But again, I like to always give benefit of the doubt. And I go, I want to believe, you got to believe in something that like, whether you're sharing, you believe in love or life after love, whatever the fuck she was singing about, you gotta have something to go like, you just do, whether it's hope or just a belief or like the enthusiastic, rally around like fucking, whether it's your sports team or a fucking restaurant that you hope takes off so that you can fucking, they open one in your hometown, whatever it is, dude. So yes, I think we can get back to a place to where like the money isn't driving everything. But dude, it's like, I don't know, dude. It's like there's so much power and control that we are so oblivious to, yet we aren't. Like the fact that I even at this stage of my life have gotten, educated enough to know that like, oh yeah, these are a handful of corporations at the top that are driving it all, dude. And they're just like, why would they relinquish? They got everything. The power, dude, the power to be able to just know that you have like, you're looking down from this fucking tower and you can control like the foods, the water, the fucking what happens is crazy. And it's also crazy that there are places in the world. I was just in Australia. We just did a big tour down there. It's awesome. They love American comedy. They just love comedy, man. It was awesome. All the shows were sold out. We did some Dr. Phil's. We did some stand-up. Went to New Zealand. Fans were awesome. Everything was great. And you're like, dude, fucking, they haven't had a fucking gun murder in like 15, 20 years. Healthcare, like the cops are nice. People like, yeah, you see some fucking rowdy shit, some bar fights. Cool, man. People be peopling,
Yeah.
But it is, so that's why I think I still have some hope that like this country will like, people will want the best for people again at some point. But until then, man, fucking stay in your lane, Hakuna Matata, spark one up, burn one down, be kind to each other, live it up. Cause, you never know when I could walk out of here right now and get hit by a bus driven by a person who's got, HIV, and they don't even know it. Or maybe they do. And that's why they're like, fuck it, dude, I'm going to drive a bus. I'm going to drive the AIDS bus for my last 6 months. Maybe everyone on that bus has AIDS, maybe it's fucking, maybe Magic Johnson fucking did some weird charity where he's like, I'm going to get, that's not how he sounds, but he's like, I'm going to get a bus full of AIDS people because I had it and I know what it's like. And I know that it's tough to ride the bus with AIDS. You can edit all this out. But my point is, yeah, dude, I believe that things will go back like that. Because, how can they not? Everything goes like that. It can only get so low, right? Thanks for having me, dude.
Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate your time. And speaking of money and control in politics, Chris, could you pass me my backpack real quick? I actually had a gift for you that I wanted to give you as a token of appreciation for you coming on the show.
Anytime, man.
Yeah. Here we go.
Definitely one of the more interesting chats. Hit me up anytime if you want to run it back.
I'd love to. Here we go.
What do you got?
Well, I know that you're of Jewish descent.
Yeah.
And I recently did an interview with Congressman Randy Fine, who's been beefing Dan Bilzerian. And they called him...
Wait, have you had Dan Bilzerian on?
Not yet, but I'm trying for him.
Oh, let me know when you do. That guy fascinates me, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about a guy that's just, look, hey, man. Hey, we got it. We fucking boats, guns, boobs. I mean, living the life.
So he called Congressman Randy Fine a fat Jew.
Ugh.
Yeah. And
dude, that fucking back and forth. And by the way, my fascination with Bilzerian is truly from an objective place of like, wow, dude, how many guys are there like you? You're one of one.
Yeah.
We all know people that are one of one where you go, you're the boat, boob, gun guy. Rogan's a gun, meat, protein podcast. I talk to everybody guy. Rogan's not on the boat. He's married. He's got a family. Bilzerian's like, family? Yeah, I got a family.
Give me my
titties.
harem.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Congressman Randy Fine fired back at him, called him unserious because Dan Bilzerian was saying he was going to run for Congress and take over Randy Fine's place. Didn't happen. But they call Randy Fine the Hebrew Hammer because he's got some pretty controversial opinions.
Sure.
So he gave me, when I interviewed him in Congress, his merch, which is the Hebrew Hammer. Wow. And I wanted to give it to you.
Dude, thank you, man.
I just thought, what a weird crossover from DC and interviewing a congressman in his congressional office to Adam Ray ending up having the Hebrew Hammer. So there we go.
I think there's a movie called The Hebrew Hammer. I want to say it's...
Probably.
Yeah. It does sound like the nickname for like the first Jewish porn star.
Yeah.
The Hebrew
male
Hammer.
porn star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women can do it too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we need to wrap up, but
we do.
Yeah, I thought I'd give that to you. I hope you
sound like the
all your
Hebrew
sets.
Hammer's agent. We need to wrap it up, dude. You can't contract another VD.
Adam Ray.
Don't you talk to me. That's
Where can people find more of your work?
Thank you, brother. AdamRayComedy.com. I'm on tour right now, all over this great country, and then we're going to be setting up a European tour. When I come back to the UK, probably next fall, hit you up.
You can come to Londonistan.
I would love to. And that's a real place. And but I am on tour, AdamRayComedy.com. I have a Netflix show out on Netflix called The Adam Ray Show. It's me and my characters interviewing celebrities, athletes, actors, musicians. 30-minute episodes. Every Friday is a new episode. YouTube.com/AdamRayComedy is my YouTube page. It's where all the Dr. Phils live and stand-up best ofs and character shows and all that. And Adam Ray Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Yeah.